I was at the library this week with my girls, and I really wanted to pick out some diverse literature for you just to showcase how there's so many ways to integrate literature into your classroom for multicultural learners. And I wasn't even thinking that your story this week was Goldilocks and the Three Pandas. One of the first ones I picked out is one of my favorites, Rubia and the Three Osos. And this story is written by Susan Middleton Ayla, maybe. And it's just an example of how there's so much multicultural literature out there that's engaging to students, whether they would speak this language or not. So I'm going to take you through the book really quickly. I'm not going to read it, but I'm just going to show it to you. I love the illustrations in this book. They're engaging and they're fun. And you can see that most of the book is in English, but in purple they have Spanish words, which if you have a student in your classroom who's Spanish, they can be the expert, which is a great way to make their culture exciting and important, and that's definitely something you want to do in your classroom. So you can see it's the same story. It actually has a nice little style to it though. It's not just a real simplified version. I really like it. I would use this even if I didn't have Spanish students in my classroom. So just going through, we see Goldilocks. It's a nice little book. So this would be a great way to integrate. If you wanted to do a Goldilocks theme, you could do many different versions of Goldilocks. And it has this kind of a surprise ending. And I love when we have books where we would focus on many versions of Goldilocks, and you see how the author can change the ending, change the characters, change the language. Students get a lot from that. And this is really cool, is they have a glossary where they have the Spanish word, they have the pronunciation, and also the English word. So I really like using this a lot. And it's just a great way to integrate multicultural literature. Now, a few other books I picked up this week at the library were books by Rachel Isadora, which is an author and illustrator who takes fairy tales and popular children's literature and does an African American or African twist on them. I love this literature, not only because it integrates multiculturalism into your classroom, but it is beautiful. The artwork is usually done in a collage style, as you can see, and most students know the stories in the book, so it's a great way to, again, showcase that multicultural twist. So this is the story of the fisherman and his wife, which is a folk tale. And you can see the beautiful pictures. Also, there are several books by Rachel Isadora. I just picked out a couple. Here's a version of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. But what better way, even with young children, to integrate multiculturalism? And remember, we want students to feel like they're represented in classrooms. And this is another great one to share with families. I think it's fun to have all the animals that are used in this story are different than a traditional story. The last one I picked is a little different, and this is the Say Hello book, and I like using this in my classroom, especially at the beginning of the year if there's students that speak in a different language. One of the things that I did in my classroom is we had a morning meeting every day, which for first grade and kindergarten is a lot like a circle time. But we greeted each other every morning, and sometimes we did handshakes, sometimes we did foot shakes, sometimes we rolled a ball. But at the start of every week, on Monday, we said hello in a different language. So over the course of the year, we learned several different languages. So this is a fun book to kind of play on that. It has the languages of many different, how to say hello in many different languages. And so you just see it. It's based on a story. And this story is about an abuela. So we have a Spanish culture. But you can see that they're visiting people in their neighborhood from different cultures, and we're saying hello to them. I think it's a really neat way to showcase lots of different cultures. And again, the illustrations are beautiful. So I won't spoil the book, but just I wanted to showcase lots of different ways to integrate literature in your classroom, and definitely Rachel Isadora is an author you want to check out from Multicultural Literature.